We got Internet Gangsters taking on Lion Esports Club. Holy crap, we're just jumping right into it. With that said, I'm Breaking CBK. Today I'm going to be joined by Melons, Swindle Melons, Captain of Stay Green. How you doing?
Pretty good, gotta say. How about you?
I'm doing good. You as well are in this event, of course, but according to the schedule, you guys are playing later on in the week. Seems like your matches are, so you guys get to sit back and enjoy at least the first couple of days.
Yeah, we like to take Mondays off, so most of the time when we make plans, it's for this day. So we weren't able to play. So luckily, Beef, who's actually doing a great job adminning the tournament already, he's got a Skype group with every captain of every team, including the Asians and the casters. And shout out to Beef, great tournament.
Yes. He has no doubt done a fantastic job organizing this, and he deserves all the credit in the world. I 100% agree there. With that said, though, we are getting things kicked off. Group B. This is the first match, obviously, of the group stages. It's this and then TMSR versus Excellent. Of course, also going to be playing right now, but we had to cast this one. I mean, these two teams obviously second and third place in the most recent cycle. Of course, you guys had to get through both of them even a couple times to eventually win cycle number 5, but that you did. But both of these teams are playing very, very good as of late.
Definitely. So. And it's interesting to see them play again so soon. You know, we don't really ever play on these weekdays, so it's really unconventional, and it'll be interesting to see what they've picked up from this past weekend, because they really haven't had much time to digest both the games they watched and the games they played. So you can see already, though, the Tempest first picked by Insania, and then Hag to follow by Hanskins. So Hag definitely much higher priority in the meta game now. And with Ophelia actually banned by Insania as Legion, he bans Ophelia and Scout. So, I mean, we were talking about it yesterday, how Ophelia and Tempest are the best junglers in the game. Scout, obviously the best anti-jungler, and they just, take him out. So, guarantees that their Tempest is going to have a good time. Torture picked up by KGE, another hero that's kind of been rising in prominence after last weekend. And that, to me, might signify that they're looking to run a no-jungle type lineup.
Yeah, so we'll see, obviously, if that comes about. I mean, of course, with that Ophelia ban, you do have still a Parasite option, even a Keeper of the Forest, even still being on the board especially. And actually, IG, if you're IG here, is Keeper a pick that you would go for?
I wouldn't see why not. I'm actually quite surprised Hanskin didn't go for it. I thought it must have been banned, but it was actually Engineer and Dampier, which is interesting because Hanskin's actually banning out Dampier. So he must have been afraid IG would first pick it. It's one of those heroes, I think we discussed it the other day. It's just you don't really know how to handle it. It's very, very annoying to play against, and I honestly couldn't tell you how to counter it.
Yeah. Well, over time, we'll see. He did receive some of those nerfs, but still obviously a top tier and even God tier hero, seems like in most eyes. So Rally instead is going to be the pick coming out from Internet Gangsters. So they have both Kraken and Rally, couple of suicide options there. With these two, do you think which one would you say is going to be suicide in this case?
I would think actually, I'm not quite sure. They're about equal. I expect that it will be Kraken because I'm fairly certain that Zibe would be the one playing it, and Zergo just absolutely adores Rally, and IG is one of the few teams that still really likes to run that dual mid Rally. I'm not quite I don't like it as much, just it's partly due to the nerfs. Rally used to be really strong because you could have really good laning presence and go for kills. Now he's a lot weaker in the lane, and you really get dominated by two range lineups. One thing to note, though, Hanskin's already down to like 2 seconds on his time, and he still hasn't gone through the bans. And I don't know, I feel like Lions may just be like a little rattled here because you really rarely see that. And some captains will tell you it doesn't matter to them how much time they have, but I personally think it really does matter how much you leave yourself, and it's much more difficult to counter uncommon picks when you don't have time to think about it. And again, this is a BO1 as it is group stage. So
that's there really is so much to talk about. We were thinking that we were planning to do a podcast today. Unfortunately, a couple things came up, but we will be doing a podcast tomorrow. We'll be talking more in depth about like these group stages and everything, and what the deal is, and kind of go over them and how they look. But that's a great point. I mean, it best of one, so who knows, what can happen, especially when we have matchups against the Southeast Asian teams, with the North America, European region facing off against them again. Not a whole lot of information there, so it's going to be interesting to see how those play out. Can't wait to see. In fact, I believe the next match, we are planning on following this one up with Lions versus Orange Esports. Can't wait for that one. So
for the viewers that don't read the forums, this is a Group B matchup. The group contains Fade to Black, also known as Team USA, Justice League, Lions Esports Club, Internet Gangsters, Orange Esports, and Moon Queen.
Yes. An update on that, the Anti-Moon Queen might be dropping out. Last I heard, I want to wait to get 100% confirmation on that. But they might be dropping out. But there is a replacement team if that is the case. So I'll wait for confirmation on that, absolutely, before I go too much into that. But, yeah, you're right. So Fade to Black. Or those and then actually in Group A, in fact, I do got a graphic for it real quick. I'll show. Might as well show it here. So you see we got group. This is Group B right here, the one that we're covering from, of course, that you just talked about. And then Group A, you got, of course, you guys, Stay Green, Team Excellent, Denali Esports, TMSR, DC Fabulous, and Next Generation are the.
To go back into the bans here, Breaky, Insania takes out MOA, Parasite, and Ravenor. Hanskin goes for Warbeast, Sandwraith, and Doctor. Hanskin often blind bans the Warbeast, but he's chosen to let it fall to this stage. They're really not a fan of playing against Warbeast, and it wasn't really necessary. They just really don't like the hero. Sandwraith, and the key here is Dr. Repulsor. Yeah. It's a hero that IG's been running quite a lot, and Sandy has actually told me that I need to start running it because it's OP. Not sure if I believe him, but it's definitely good in this meta game because people are really fond of the split push Rat Dodo, and they also tend to overextend quite a lot.
Yeah.
Pyro is the pickup, though. I like that pick. Great synergy with the lineup they've got so far, and it's it's the best laning partner you can really have for a rally, in my opinion. And I like that they use the pick on the support here, which leaves open their short lane for this next pick. There are no junglers left in the pool other than, of course, the keeper. Which, if I'm Lions, I've got to be thinking I'm picking the keeper here and even jungling it. I mean, we haven't seen it very often. It's not as strong, but like if you look at their team, Hag or Tree just has ridiculous synergy. And Hanskin's one of the few people who actually likes to jungle Tree. So I would be very, very surprised if he does not choose to do that.
Yeah, it definitely is a hard hero to pass up, but we'll see if Lion Esports Club decides to or not. Again, they don't have much time. They're only have the 2 seconds of extra time, so they have to think of it right now as well as when it's back to their side. But as far as IG is concerned, you mentioned the Pyromancer. As far as how they're looking to finish, you figure that short lane hero perhaps going to be coming out here.
Yeah, but that's kind of the beauty of the lineup they've got so far. Both Kraken and Rally could short lane. True. They could both go mid. They could both suicide. It's one of the reasons I'm really quite fond of Kraken as a hero and why we picked it so much yesterday. Yeah. It's just really excellent. And it's great against Lions because Lions just love to run around as a team and look for fights. Mm-hmm. And that's what better way to address that than to pick heroes that can fight. Madman, interesting choice. He got some recent buffs, and I think they really impacted his viability, specifically the buff to stalk. You now only have 2 seconds in between invises versus 3, which doesn't seem like much, but I mean that's a fairly stark increase, and there's the keeper. So that'll be jungled. That makes a lot of sense, and I like that pick.
Yeah, but the Madman coming out, and kind of even another option that could possibly be suicide, possibly short lane. It looks like, by the way, Kraken being readied up by Fabelli right here. So it looks like we are going to see a short lane Kraken, a rally pound Madman suicide here in the end. It's very possible. And if that is the case, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Madman choosing him to suicide of those 3?
I wouldn't go for that. Zibe is playing it though, so it actually looks like it will be a suicide Madman. It depends. I'm not sure. A lot of it's going to come down to like the laning phase and what they want their heroes to match up against. Lions is fairly predictable in their lanes, as they often are, because they're so fond of running the Devourer mid. So it's going to be a CD top with a keeper in the jungle and a Tort Devo mid and a Hag bot. So it just comes down to what you'd like to match these heroes up against. Kraken with 1 regen. And he'll probably get 2, if not 3, looking at the items he's chosen to go. He's going to dominate Jonas's Hag. Mm-hmm. And up top, a CD will do much better against a Kraken or Rally than he would against a Madman, as Madman can just easily stalk away and outrange his conduit. But CD should definitely win that lane. Mid, Pyro Rally, one of the safer lanes you can have against a Devourer, even if he does land a hook, which, as it's Super KGE, will probably happen. You can most likely throw your teammate to safety before he goes down. So that's really, once again, going to be the key lane. Tree can't really roam until he's level 6. Tempest can, but it really will just come down to rune control and just how these lanes play out. But really even drafts, as you'd expect from teams of this caliber.
Yeah, of course. Again, these two teams obviously 2nd and 3rd place in the most recent cycle, and looking really good in the Han Tour season so far, as we are at the halfway point now with the 5th cycle finishing. And obviously big teams expected to especially move on to the next round of this event. And actually, speaking of that real quickly, again, you mentioned there's 6 teams in each group. The top 4 teams in each group are going to move on to that bracket stage. Now, the first place seed, it's fun because the first place seed, they actually get to choose their first round opponent in the first round of the tournament. So kind of interesting there. That's even extra incentive to get first place overall. And they each play each other once, so 5 games in total. to determine that. So that's, again, kind of just a quick recap of what's going on here. There is an article, once again, on the Honcast.com website that does go over all that information. You guys should definitely check it out under the news section. So here we are into the laning phase, though, as you mentioned. It is going to be that rally being set up mid, of course, with Pyromancer eventually being there, having that compel. Very effective. As far as outside of the box, nothing too crazy. Pretty much the lanes are as expected, and the start is as you expect. This Keeper the Forest skin, by the way, it still freaks me out. I'm going to have to get used to it as we apparently are going to see it more and more. But anyways, we'll see. Super KGE, though, he's playing, obviously, the Devourer. And that's a fan favorite right there, so we'll see how he's able to do. But Rally does make it difficult once again. So Torture just right off the bat harassment, but Pyromancer does the same himself. A lot of back and forth from the supports coming out here to start things off. So you got the Madman versus Corrupted Disciple. I think it's safe to say not a friendly matchup for Madman.
Definitely not. I think he didn't get much regen at all. In fact, he got none.
Oh, wow.
They gave 2 to Kraken as expected, which I kind of like. Zibe's going to try and just rush the bottle, and he can't really do very well in this lane anyway. Kraken is really going to have to shine, though. I think Jonas is a far better Hag player than Fuzi, and I think that Lions is most comfortable with Jonas playing Hag, which is one of the reasons we prioritize it so highly, and one of the reasons Hanskin chose to pick it with his first selection of this game. So this is kind of the key lane in this game. Fabelli's the newest player of IG, but he's kind of just come to prominence as not necessarily their star player, but he's going to be the one who normally makes the plays and plays that really high priority hero, and IG likes to put a lot of their game plan revolved around him. So
yeah, of course, that's interesting because Season 1, he was all about that for the team that he played for. He was the carry player for them. And here in Season 2, it seems like he was starting off more as a suicide, but that's changed as he's joined it with Internet Gangsters, and he's back to that carry presence, that go-to hero.
Fabelli is the pub star player,
yeah,
and most of the time they are much, much better at adjusting. Like we saw Pee-wee. I feel like he did much better on Lions, although he didn't do exceptionally, but he did well playing that carry free farmer role when he was allowed to snowball. But as suicide, it's a much different game. You're a lot of times you need to give up lane. Like it's hard sometimes to sit at a tower and not farm and lose your lane in order to stay alive or to check runes and help your teammates. But I mean, a lot of times the viewers don't see that you can have impact on a game even by just allowing your teammates to have more impact.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think, the point I'm trying to make is I think Fabelli is a lot better suited for this role where he's more the guy who's snowballing, and I think Zibe is an excellent 1v1 player and quite good at suiciding, so I like what they've done. And I think it's part of the reason they did so well in this last cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, we'll see how they continue on, especially here with the SoundBlaster Heroes League. We'll say, they barely squeaked into the DreamHack group stages, obviously, as they had to take out Denial Esports. They did it 2-1, though, so they did move on. It's going to see how they advance on as well as Lions for that matter.
Really, honestly, I don't know why, in my opinion, the number 3 or 2 team in Han had to play Denial Esports before the stage. But I'm really glad they advanced because I don't know if Sender is going to be able to go if they don't qualify, and I'm really rooting for these guys, so I hope they continue to do well. Down bottom, just to note, Fabelli went for a life tube, but he's already out of regen. Jonah's doing an excellent job here. The CS fairly even, and he's out of regen. So the life tube will give him the lane dominance in the future, but he might need to buy more regen. We didn't comment on this, but IG chose to only block 1 camp of Keepers, whereas 2 of Tempests are blocked. So and that's the reason you see them almost tied in GPM, even though Tempest is a considerably better farmer. Although Hanskin has got some excellent spawns. 260 at GPM level 5 at 3.5 minutes is very good for a Keeper. Yeah, he's also much worse.
Yeah, he's also level 5 on top of that, so it gets a level 6 mark, get some dust maybe, look to gank this top lane. Could be very possible coming out from that combination, of course, as well as the tower push on top of that. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, talking about Insania, and 2 of those camps blocked, not only close to farm, but also being level 4, so slightly under level. Bottom lane, Kraken going at it with Wretched Hag. Wretched Hag wants to finish him off. One more auto attack. Can he get close enough? The shield's working. No, the Fade to Black comes in, and he is going to be fine. He's going to use a health potion. It's actually going to fall off, though.
Yeah, it was just a mistake. No, he just didn't realize.
Okay.
I think he may have panicked a little bit, but he didn't know what level the haunt was. It's level 2, but it wouldn't have killed him, so I assume it was just a little misclick sometime, because it was on him. That was in the last 3 seconds of the haunt, so it happens sometimes. You're just so focused on surviving, you're just like, oh, phew, I'm fine. And your health bar, you're like, damn it, I had a dot. And, it happens.
Yeah.
I've done it myself. He is, however, in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get haunted again, and he's really Like, if you took another auto attack there, he would have died.
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised that Fabelli is doing so poorly here. He got 2 regens. I think part of it's that he went for those 2 minor totems. I really think you want to show up to this lane with 3 things of regen because it's the easiest way to win a lane. Just show up with more regen than your opponent. Up top, you see Madman kind of dueling with his Corrupted. He's going to stalk away, but that Conduit, man, it's doing a lot of damage.
That's not a fight you're going to win if you're Madman, and actually he's going to fall. Bloodlust kill comes out. Oh, that decision in the first place from Zibe. He stalked in, actually. It's not like Corrupted was low either, and that was dangerous.
It's well done by Fuze there. He went for the very early mana battery. He actually got it before boots, and that resulted in him having enough charges to actually get a full Q off just from the power supply. So well done by him. He also maxed the Conduit, a very good choice when you play against a melee. Like Madman mid lane, a hook's going to be landed, and this going to be a dead Pyro.
Yep, Pyromancer falling to the likes of Super KG. Did do a good job landing the hook, as you mentioned.
The haste rune helped, but yeah.
Yeah, that usually comes into play. And actually, Rally will need to be a little careful, but again, with that Compel, not too worried in the end. So.
But this is what Lions does. They'll get these early kills, and then what they're going to be able to do here is actually control both runes, although Tempest is doing a nice job to get the bottom rune. Unfortunately, it's just a refreshment. So now they have a regen after they just grabbed that haste. And that's really what set up that kill, was that haste rune. The hook was needed, obviously, but with no haste, that's not going to be a kill, although the Compel wasn't great either. But like this is where it gets really dangerous for IG, because Lions has one of those just group up as 5, take team fights lineups with a lot of dive potential, and if you get behind with their kind of lineup, you're really going to be in trouble. And I like the Madman pick to an extent because they really didn't have many other better options, but his CS is not bad, 24, but the death really hurts them, and they're going to need to make something happen on the map in order to recover. And I think it's going to come from Insania's ultimate, which may come out middle in a sec.
Well, he gets the Ring of Sorcery right there, so yeah, he's going to be coming to the middle lane. We'll see if they find that opportunity. Devour not really pushing. Oh, they are going to go in right there. Compel hits both right there, as you mentioned. Dragonfire's going to fall. The 10th ultimate. He's trying to get in range. It doesn't matter, though. They will finish off Devour, and Torture is able to get away. But he got a little block there by his teammate, but it didn't matter in the end.
Really big kill there.
Yeah.
IG not tilting. They're still staying focused. They are behind, but that is a really, really big kill. They needed that to stay in this game. Down bottom, Kraken recovering a little bit, but Jonas is 32-5. That's way too good for a Hag. And oh man, he could have killed him there with a charge into Q. Fabelli he's a great player, but I feel like his Kraken leaves a little to be desired because he should be doing much better in this lane. And I've seen multiple opportunities where he might be able to land a kill with a charge into ultimate.
Yeah, you see at the bottom lane in the meantime. Here comes that push that we're talking about. Keeping the force. He's level 8 now, actually. So Hanskin really is doing a great job. 300 gold per minute, level 8. And this tower, it's going to be in deny range at least. Yeah, it's definitely going to be in deny range, so they will commit to a tower kill. Conduit's going to be applied. Here come the TPs, though. I don't know about this. Invulnerability coming out. Who is that coming in? It is Rally. Will he be able to land? Yes, he will. Madman does have that Conduit on him. In comes a roof and keeping the force, though. Locking out Rally. The Conduit charges from Corrupted. The Electrotide not going to be enough for the kill. However, the mana battery will barely save him. They do deny the tower, but in comes Torture with a flank, and down goes Rally. Now you see the trees are spawned. They're going to block out Cinder right here. Cinder will fall. It ends up being a 2-0 with the tower deny, but wow, that was a good fight back from Lions.
Jonas was given a ward bottom, so he's going to see this gank from Tempest coming. He may still be in trouble, but he should be able to blink over, but I'm pretty sure they know what's going on. He's going to juke around. That's a nice blink by him. And this is just Lions playing better than IG. They had better vision. They don't have their customary lane ward mid, so that's why that kill on Devo came through, but they used their wards instead to protect their bottom lane and not a lane ward top, so they can continue this push even with root down because they know they are safe on the right side. And if they get this second tower, this is going to be really bad and really hard for IG to come back from. It'll be an early mech on Keeper, but I think Keeper's going to die.
Keeper is in trouble, yeah. Oh, actually, Rally went for the big Compel to corrupt the Disciple. He missed it. They do end up still killing Keeper. Torture is going to end up falling as well. So they do get a couple of kills. The tower was killed, however, in favor of Lions.
Really close, though. That was big, though. That was not worth it for Lions. They get the tower, but honestly, that's one of those situations where you just want to back and wait. And then push it again when you have your ult, when you have your mech up and everything's ready to go, rather your Astrolabe.
Yeah.
Well done by IG there. If they got the kill on CD, that would have totally turned the game. They're still in a tough spot, really out GPM'd, but that really helps them a lot more than it helps Lions.
It does, yeah. They're a 3,900 gold lead. That is quite the gold lead to have at 9.5 minutes into the game. Bottom lane, Kraken. We do see he's getting ported on by Torturer, so actually he's going to apply some pressure to Torturer. He does have that ultimate, but yeah, they're going to deny the tower. He wanted to.
Fabelli's just really not He's just not feeling it right now. Again, like if he plays a little more aggressive there, he can definitely get at least one kill or maybe at least the tower kill. I mean, you're not really ever in danger when you play a Kraken with that much farm. He's got over 1,000 health and steam boots with the charge that takes him 1,000 range away. I mean, you just 800 rather, but you've got to just be more aggressive than that, especially when you're behind. When you're behind, you don't want to obviously throw, but you definitely want to take a couple more risks. You see Sealkid countering this ward with an Invis Devourer, so this should be a really easy hook.
Yeah, it's easy compel. However, there's the hook. He just used the compel. He's going to be locked down. He will fall. Tempest thought about maybe trying to get in range for an ultimate, but it wasn't going to happen. And so his teammate goes down. So 1-for-1 exchange. That's definitely in favor of the Hellborn team right there.
Yeah, really easy hook for Super KG. He's not going to miss those ones. They do get the counter ward, so their ward will stay alive for a little bit longer. So that's not bad. And it is just a 1-for-1. And Rally really not having the greatest game, so it honestly turns out fairly even though Torture is, of course, the support. Yeah. He's still one of those heroes you do want to keep down. And Sealkid, great support player, and whenever he gets excess gold, and my brother just gets furious because he just buys more wards, and it drives him insane, so it's really nice to slow that down.
Yeah.
Top lane, CD is going to push that in, and that'll be really big because they have no tower there for Legion, so if they ever lose lane control, Madman can just go there and static farm it, which I'd like to see him doing now, honestly, because there's no real reason for him to be middle.
You do see he is going the Energizer first, but as far as a follow-up to that, what would you like to see on this Madman?
Personally, I don't really know. It's one of those heroes you can itemize in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
In this game, he's going to just be going for raw physical damage output. I'd expect to see an Energizer into potentially a Dawnbringer, but most likely a straight Shrunken Head. Okay. I think that would be the best to go, and then a Geometers after. You are playing against a Keeper. There's no reason not to get a Shrunken. Oh, mid lane.
Yeah, Super KG's in trouble. The Seismic Slam to release the Kraken. Easy kill coming out right there. The support not nearly in time.
That's one of the strengths of Kraken. He's a guarantee. Like, they didn't need the ultimate there, but, yeah. I mean, that guy was dead, and they wanted to make sure he was dead. And they get the counter ward first as well, so he's going to need to buy another one to counter that counter ward. And Sender's actually got 2 down the middle lane, so they should have vision here. They don't have the Kraken ulti, which could hurt them, and I don't believe they'll be able to defend this tower, although Tempest is here with ultimate.
There we go. Keeper the Force falling back. That is a big compel. Hits 2 right there. Keeper right. No, there's a Tempest ultimate. It's not going to be stopped. It's going to be a full lockdown. Corrupted will fall. Keeper the Force, he's pretty beefy. Isn't beefy enough. They do get the tower kill. He gets charged into the trees right there. He is in Fizz, however. He does have the Root still. There comes the Root. Wretched Act joining the party. She hits a double damage. Bad Plus hits a couple. There's a big hook coming out from Super KG. Hits on Madman. Madman's going to fall. Torture is still alive in the background. And now the Legion team on the run. Rally's going to jet the hell on out of there. Kraken's going to do the same with the Tsunami charge. And that ends up being Lion Esports Club. I think you can safely say they come out on top, even though they lose Corrupted.
Yeah, really well played there by Lions. IG made a couple key miscues there. Sender missing the stun on the Keeper and throwing it out a little early before Tempest ult ends. And Sania also choosing to stun the CD instead of the tree. They might have been able to kill him with that extra damage if they had a counter ward, which they had 2 down, but none in range.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a huge push coming out from Lions, and you see Keeper into the Legion jungle. I mean, again, look at the Handskins. The fact that he's level 10, he's got to be close to level 11 because he was 10 at the beginning of that fight, too. And he is farming 380 gold per minute here.
This is the strength of Keeper. I mean, his ult cooldown's a lot shorter than Tempest's, and he can push a lot harder and a lot easier. He's just, with the Astrolabe and the Mana Ring, he's like a walking fountain, and he can invis heroes so they can do stuff like that.
And here you go. Yeah, sets up the easy hook. Kraken, he's got the Tsunami charge, but mid-animation, Jonas Fan gets credit for the kill right there.
You really got to punish a Keeper jungle a lot earlier with harder roaming, and you really have to block more of his spawns. As a non-ranged hero, it's much more difficult to counter wards in the trees, and this is when he's strong, when he just gets these items and starts pushing towers with his team, but until he reaches this point, he's honestly just completely useless, and when he's 400 GPM, this is when he gets scary, because he can just keep pushing, and you're really unable to kill him. And mid lane, you see Devourer and Tort just kind of posturing here to try and defend this. Root is not up, but honestly, these 3 heroes now with Keeper here might be strong enough. Nice hook.
Oh, he did hit him. I thought he missed, actually, but yeah, it does connect on a Pyromancer, and sure enough, easy kill setup right there, and there's the deny on top of that. It's a Lion Esports Club. You can tell they're getting that ball rolling. 6,800 gold lead, 3,400 experience lead now. Things all across the board looking good. Not so much an IG. Top lane, actually, they do kill the tower. That's big.
It's not an excuse, but it's so hard to dodge hooks when the guy playing the Devourer's got like 23 or 20-30 ping, and you've got 200 like Sender does. He didn't really make an attempt there, but it's still fairly, it's really not an easy task.
Of course, yeah. Especially for the likes of him, you know, he gets that angle with the sidestep, and it's so difficult to, to really see it coming by that time, so. You do see Super KG. He's kind of in the jungle by himself. He's going to run into Kraken right here. I don't know if much is going to happen. And Torrent comes out. He does have support coming in with Tempest, actually. Tsunami charge to stun. In comes a Tempest stuns, and Kraken is going to use the ultimate, but he gets stopped immediately, of course. And then he will fall. Meanwhile, in the middle lane now, they're going to catch some supporting cast. Madman caught from behind. Conduit supply. Conduit draining him down. He's going to survive. The big cuts a blazing strike on the Corrupt the Disciple. He's going to live to release the Kraken. That was not the best one right there. He was trying to cut off Keeper the Forest. Corrupt the Disciple will live. Keeper will not. And it looks like Corrupted might be fine in the end. Yeah, he is going to be
They really
fine.
wanted to kill him that CD, though.
Yeah.
Fabelli missing the ultimate was pretty big there. Again, though, honestly, every time I think IG is totally out of it, they manage to find 2 or 3 kills. And that wasn't with the Tempest ulti either. It just goes to show their team is very strong. Like, Pyro, Kraken, Rally is a really big heap of damage. And then they have a Tempest and a Madman to fall back on. So
Yeah.
they're definitely not out of this game, especially since Jonas is going for that Icon route. It's not bad per se, but it's more of a, hey, we're snowballing, let's go type thing. And he'll honestly die really quickly, even with all that HP, to the insane lockdown of Rally, Pyro, and Kraken. Like, it's too much damage for you to really survive. And boom, there it is.
Yep.
Really nice job there. Well positioned by Zergo. There were no wards up. They have a lane ward top. Zergo very wisely choosing to run through river all the way into the jungle. A risky move, but, you know, in this that's the kind of risk I like to see people take.
Yeah, I mean, that's bit. I mean, you look at you're right. I mean, IG right now, it's only down to 2,200 gold lead for Alliance, and they have the experience lead. So all of a sudden, Internet Gangsters, you know, they're just holding on.
That kill really pulls them back in. They're not that far behind, but in all honesty, 4,000 gold's a really big deal in the metagame as is. That means that their team, I mean, the Astrolabe advantage is gone, but the push books, you know, the Shrunkens earlier, like that can really make an impact quickly, and that really slows down Jonas's Icon, which is, I think, what Lion is waiting for before they go. But the funny thing is, like, if Zergo gets caught there, like if he just runs up, finds a Devour, and just dies, you know, we're going to laugh and say, oh, what a terrible play. But, you know, that's the risk you take, and that's one of the reasons chat always drives me nuts, because when somebody dies, it's a poor play, and when they succeed, it's a good play. You got to judge the action before its success. If you really want to, you got to go into the decision making they take before they actually decide to go make a risky move. And this puts Zergo very close to his portal key, and he is very good at utilizing that portal key rally. He's got 200 gold to go. He could go for a different item, but I think just pure initiation is the way to go when you've got a Kraken and a Tempest on your team.
Yeah. Zibe, he does get the Mighty Blade, so again, it gets definitely that shrunken head you mentioned, especially with the Keeper. He's going to run in right here, runs through a couple. Yeah. And actually, they are invis, though, so this could be dangerous. Madman's definitely in a lot of trouble. He's going to be locked down right here. The Keeper's nearby. The Conduit's going to be applied. Will he be able to get away? Probably not. Although in comes Rally, actually, so never mind. He is going to be able to get away. They put the Rev Fort down, but it's too late.
Really nice job by Zergo there. Runs in. And he didn't do anything. He just ran in and showed himself, but that was enough to scare them. Bottom lane, Pyro's going to get his ultimate off, but it's not going to be enough to save Hag. Tempest is chasing, though. Oh, he's going to blink away, but Insane is going to get him. He's going to get the stun. They need one more charge. They have to... Oh, nice. He's just going to use the ulti. That was a really good decision. Kraken had one more stun before the blink would have been up, and then he would have had to land his charge. He would not have been in rage in time. So really like the usage of that ultimate there. The root was used. No, it was not used top. So Madman saved. Really well done. They trade a Pyro for a Hag, and Jonas really kind of overextending in the bottom lane a little bit. Obviously, mid lane actually, before we comment. Big stun by Rally. Holy crap.
Seismic slam. He's not going to get it off, though. He takes the stun himself from Torture. A lot of people are here. There's that root coming out. Tempest is here, of course. No elemental void. Seismic slam, I believe that missed. Devour jumps in. Down goes Rally. The Rot's doing plenty right here in the background. Oh, the hook to just misses Pyromancer. So it's going to be Rally dead for Torturer, and Wretched Hag, of course, dead from earlier. So 1-for-1 exchange there in the middle.
A really well executed fight there by IG. And once Zergo, huge double stun to set that up. They didn't win the fight. Well, they got 1-for-1, so it didn't work for them. But they did defend the tower, which is big. They're really they're really lacking map control right now. You don't want that second tier mid tower to go down. It's a lot harder to do your ancients with no tower there. Top lane coming in with a lot of farm for them. Tempest, I don't know what item he's going. He's got 1,600 gold. Kraken quite farmed though. Already has the bulwark and the helm up. So he's going to be a force in these fights. And the thing we have to keep in mind is, like, Keeper and Devourer specifically really drop off as the game gets later. Hag and CD are really... Like, both teams, honestly, are really well put together. Like, there's no real strength I don't see in the late game team fights. Like, I don't know who would win. Because they both are fairly equal in how their items will progress and which heroes will decline. And it's really tough to call. Like, Tort, best support in the game, in my opinion. Pyromancer... He's up there too, if not like second or third. Good pushback by KGE. Zergo doesn't. You don't want a W there. You got to just blink in and stun. That would have been a kill. They had the rally, or rather the Kraken ultimate, but a nice push book will save him.
It's interesting seeing Super KG's build on Devour especially. He sometimes goes to tablet. He sometimes goes to the portal key. He sometimes will go straight into that shaman's headdress, especially. But yeah, between the portal key and the tablets, it's interesting to see, going from time or from each to each. I would think this game, especially with the release of Kraken, maybe to help with the Tempest. Now we do see right here, he's going to be released of Kraken. He tried to ultimate himself, but he denies himself in the end. That's another cool thing about Devour. He does that.
It's really it's not huge, but it's really frustrating for that to happen. That takes 30 GPM away from Kraken, and he would have leveled up as well. Level 16 Kraken ult is a big deal. It's one of those heroes that really gets better with levels and time. So
yeah,
it's kind of it's RNG, but maybe save for the splash. I don't know. You got to be wary of the push book as well. So just bad luck. Rally, he's fine mid. Keeper and Tort are farming out the Legion Woods, though, as Tempest farms theirs.
That was funny. Wretched Hag actually bought another Glowstone and sold it. Bought a Beastard. He sold that and then bought a Pickled Brain. So he's just trying to finish off his Icon of the Goddess. He wasn't sure which one he needed. So right there, you do see that is going to be delivered. So definitely a lot longer. Now, again, this is, like you said, this is kind of one of those snowballing items. Now, obviously, the pace of the game has changed. Is this still a good pickup for him? It's
not bad. It's kind of like that in-between item. Grimoire is to help you farm, provide late game. Shrunken's for your survivability. Icon's kind of both, while and neither at the same time.
Yeah.
If he gets some charges, it's really nice mid-fight to provide a lot of regen, and it will assist him in the split pushing, but he's still just going to die if he gets initiated on. And I feel like if you're going to have that anyway, why not just go Grimoire, give yourself ridiculous damage output, especially when you've got a Root, a CD, and a Devourer to set up and go in first. I just don't think he needed that item choice. But Jonas is just a huge fan of it, and Lion seems to not mind. But at the same time, we've seen Fuzi go charged hammer on Hag, so I'm not quite sure who's making the decisions on what their item progression is.
That is true. That was something. Top lane, we do see Wretched Hag is going to go farm up the lane. Saw Mammo's pushing it up, but
Pyro coming in here, though. This will be a kill if they are able to get the secondary stun off from Pyromancer.
Yeah, if she overextends right here, we'll see what her positioning is like. She's going to hide in the trees, so that's smart right there. But second she pops out, this could be an easy kill.
He's going to stay for the wave. Just have patience. This is where you got to have patience, IG. Don't run through the wards.
In the meantime, Congress going on by Lions, so
yeah,
they're going to clean that up, and IG's not really doing too much with that time. So, yeah, they're not going to get the kill. She actually ports away. This is going to be a free Congur.
This is a really good move by Lions. This is something that you don't really... This is part of the reason they've become much better with the new roster changes and just over time, because they wouldn't make that play in the past. They'd maybe set up top, split push, but instead they just make a nice play for Congur, and now they're going for a fight.
Wow, Wretched Hag. Sonar Scream hit 4, I believe, right there. She's going to hold her ground. In the meantime, she takes a stun. She's getting bursted. She has the token, as we talked about, the Root coming out. She is still alive. She blinks away. Release the Kraken and catches Corrupt the Disciple, though. In the meantime, Blazing Strike going off and Devour. Not going to matter. There's a Tempest ultimate. It's going to be a full duration, but in comes the Bat plus the counter. Rally will fall right there. Devour is still barely alive against Kraken. Wretched Hag going to come right back up. Keeper the Force, not much mana, not much life, but he's just that tanky figure. Tempest will be picked off. Kraken wants to finish off Keeper, but at what cost right here? He's not able to take him out. Wretched Hag going to throw out the Sonar Scream, and now putting in the auto attacks, but you see Kraken, he's just a little bit too tanky. So it looks like that's how it's going to end. He did finish off Devour. He's going back in to finish Keeper. But actually, if he stays in a little longer, not going to happen, though. Tsunami charge away.
Honestly, all things considered, that's a good fight for IG. They come out trading 3-3, plus they get the token.
Yeah.
And like I said, with Jonas's item choice, I'm not nearly as afraid of him as I would be had he gone for that Grimoire. Because a Grimoire Shrunken Hag, once he picks up a sheep stick and just solo you, I think Refresher, a Refresher Sheep Grimoire Shrunken Hag is, in my opinion, about the strongest you can possibly get with that amount of gold spent, as far as any hero and item progression considered. It's just so good. And instead he goes for this Icon. No Vestment as well. Didn't really matter. Zibe is going to go for the Shrunken as expected. Fibeli might actually go for a Shrunken as well before he finishes the Demonic. Not a huge fan of that, but it's not bad. I just think they could use the raw damage at this point.
Yeah.
CD, as you can see, 1,300 health, just a Shrunken. So Fuzi dominated his lane, got the Bloodlust, but he's got as many deaths as Jonas, and it doesn't look as if he has nearly as much farm. Unless he has the Energizer, I guess, but really just not where you'd expect him to be at this point in the game. And this is just something Lions does. I mean, Hanskin's got almost as much farm as Jonas. They don't really stress their short laner as much, and that's part of the reason I feel like Fuzi fits into their roster a lot better than Pee-wee did, because Pee-wee's used to just having, like the old Slicks treatment from Frey, where it's kind of just 4 protecting 1 and laying laurels at his feet. But when you've got a Lions lineup that they really like having 4 heroes, because KGE is kind of greedy with the farm too. 4 heroes are always going to be almost even, and
pretty good
it
farm,
works a lot better for them. But Lions playing well, IG playing well as well, so it's a good game.
Rally top lane. He actually portal keys away before he gets cut out. Oh, will they stun in time? Yes, they will. Perfect stun coming out from Steel Kid. The TP is going to be foiled. Dookie Pells over the ledge. Oh, kind of an awkward movement, though. The ledge is causing a lot of issues right here, and he will fall in the end. That was just, funky with the map right there. He does fall in the end, though. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, they do catch out Tempest with the Root and the Devour Ultimate. Madman, he's barely going to be able to stalk away with the Shrunken Head activated. You see the 5 conduit charges adding up. So it's several places on the map. Lion Esports Club gets a couple of big kills, and they're going to split push right now.
Yep, those are really big kills for them. Insania does go down. He sold his portal key. He had picked one up before. I was hoping he would do that because it's really not the right choice here. Torture's going to go down. That's a nice kill by Fabelli. That helps him out a little bit. Gives him a little boost in farm, makes up for that Devour. No kill earlier. Bottom tower will go down, but KG looks like he's going to go for the barrier idol. Went for the push book first. Hanskin's going for straight refresher, and that's going to really be the timing for Lions. Wow, that's a big kill.
Yeah, that was actually huge because not only was it a big kill just on the hero, but that was well played. They actually stunned him right as he was blinking. The Tsunami Charge stunned him as he was in blink animation, and then the lockdown followed with Pyromancer and the Blazing Strike Burst. So that was a huge kill coming out.
Fabelli didn't play that great in lane, but he's doing quite well after a couple miscues with his ults. In general, he's been hitting his charges, and he's just been positioning himself well in fights, which, I mean, to be fair, Kraken positioning, not the hardest. You've got like 1 billion health, and you can just pretty much run at stuff and click it, but still he's doing well. 5-1 and 5 shows that. And honestly, the game's fairly even. It's 4,000 gold disadvantage right now for IG, but they're 2 towers and a Kongor down, so all things considered, the game's about even. They're just 1 kill and a deny to consider, but they're doing really good here. And here comes, see if they could find Keeper. Oh my lord, there he is.
Oh. Well, they found Keeper. Tempest finds him. He has his hole, but he's not going to use it, as he doesn't really have the most support nearby, although Rally was porting in, and they have Pyromancer not cutting him off.
Had him. Oh no.
Do you think he should have hold there?
I think you go for it, yeah. There's no reason not to. He's going to have the Shrunken soon, maybe wants to wait, but at the same time, like, that's a tough move, because Insanity is the captain too. So if he says, mass TP mid, it could either be really good, they get the kill, or it could be really bad. And it's just a big risk. And he probably feels like at this point in the game, if they take a straight up engagement, no token, nothing, just 5-on-5, that they're going to win it. And I kind of think I agree. So just a judgment split decision call, but probably a little surprised as well, although he did react quite quickly with the stun.
Yeah, definitely did. Restoration Stone, though, it is coming. Yeah. Coming quickly here for Keeper the Forest, so that's obviously a big item.
He's about 760 gold away from it. Yeah. Devour going for the portal key instead of the barrier, and I like this. I say this about portal key all the time, but it gives you that initiation. But if you don't, and Rally's actually going in, holy crap!
Seismic slam, but not even. Oh, the Path Blast, it misses Rally. It did hit Kraken though. Keeper the Force running in. He has a root. In comes Center though with the Pyromancer. The Pyromancer gonna get hooked in. Devour release that Kraken to lock down Keeper the Force. He chose not to root though. In the process, Kraken's going to be able to Tsunami Charge away.
It's a really good trade.
That'll be the end of that. Yeah, big trade.
Just want to finish what I was saying because it would drive me nuts if I don't. But Portal Key gives you the initiation, but it's 2,000 gold that doesn't go to stats. Yeah. So if he gets jumped, for example, he'd really want to have that barrier. And that may come into play because there is still quite a lot of magic damage on this Legion team.
Yeah. But, that also, I was wondering about that. Keeper the Force, again, choosing not to root up there. I feel like if he did, especially right before he died, maybe Kraken could have got taken out.
That's where that icon kind of comes into play. It makes Hag kind of not able to be the target. He was a little too far, so Fabelli made a good decision there, choosing to just go for the Keeper, prevented the root from coming out, which was really big, because if that root lands, that's a much worse fight. And that ulti is just a huge stun. 2 seconds, 400 magic damage, plus 300, or some, I don't know, it's 60 per second. It's just a lot of damage.
Yeah. And on top of that now, it also pushes him back from getting that Resto Stone ASAP. He bought the Sustainer, he sold it though, just kind of getting an idea.
I'm not quite sure what Zibby's going for. I was really hoping he'd go for a Geos. It doesn't help him with the farming that much, but it just makes him way more effective in these team fights, and it's the best item you possibly can have to boost your GPS, or DPS rather.
Yeah.
But he might be going Battle Fury. I'm not quite sure what or why, but
well, we're Null Stone, I mean, Nullstone could be decent against like Devour and Corrupted.
Nullstone is never a good decision, unfortunately.
So? Okay.
With the way the new items that have come out, Dawnbringer, Grimoire, like it's just never. It's really never a good choice unless it's like the only choice. And like you're like, wow, this would be a great game, but it's only. It can be taken off by Torturous E, by Push Books, by Hag's Q. And then it, in essence, turns into 5,000 gold spent on regen.
I think it's more.
Really hope it's Cleaver.
I think it's more about the idea that it's even when he had a shrunken head up, he could still be ulti by Devour. He could still be conduit by Corrupted. Where with the Nullstone, it prevents that with the shrunken head. So maybe that's the logic, but
I don't know. I see where that's coming from, but if you're like, to be fair, Fabelli's got retarded amounts of farm. CD. If they play the team fights right, he shouldn't be in a position to get conduited because it's already been used on Kraken. Yeah. And I just feel like, especially with the change to his E, where he now does more damage every attack, you really just want to boost damage because the more damage you put on yourself, the more that percentage. It's 9% per charge per attack for a maximum of 6. So the more damage you have, the more that 9% starts to stack up. I mean, compound interest. Start with a bigger investment, you can have a bigger return. So I really hope it's not Nullstone. What was it? What did he buy?
I didn't notice, actually.
I think it might be Nullstone.
I think it is. I mean, well, speaking of that, he is actually going to get locked down right here by Devour. And, yep, he is going to fall shortly after. In comes the Bat Blast from Hag, and easy assistance. She has that Grimoire now, by the way. So
no vestments and Agi Treads. Quite disappointed in Zibe there. Yeah. And that's just, people like to bullshit about mechanics all the time. That's an example of bad mechanics. I mean, you should always be on Strength Treads. You should always buy a vestment. And that's what I consider mechanics. I don't know what the honk-ass chat thinks they are, but it's a little more than just how well you lasted.
Yeah. Well, we do see right here in the middle lane, they're actually going to really capitalize off of this. Madman dead. They know this is a big time to make an easy push. This is the last outer tower, so might as well get this destroyed. I doubt they're going to push all the way into the base by any means, but get the last outer tower here, then fall back. I'm sure Kongor, you got to think he's going to be resurrecting here shortly as well. So wait for Kongor now, and Lion's definitely in a big control of this game. I mean, especially after that pick right there, again with the Kongor attempt coming up perhaps. But you also see the map control right here. I mean, the map vision right now well in favor of Lion Esports Club. You got IG with this ward at the top rune, but
yeah. That kill on Zebe was really big. He's in essence their hard carry in this game. Kraken's close, but now Tempest. Like these guys are just, they're really, the invises from Hanskin onto the Devourers and the Hags are really just catching them off guard. They don't see these ganks coming, and like if you look at the map, it's totally dark except for that one ward up top, and they do have a gem on Seal Kit, and that's really the key. Like the gem provides so much map control. Sender cannot afford one, and I really think they might need to pick one up in order to have a chance in this. Shrunken picked up on Tempest, but the refresher's finished now on Keeper along with an Energizer, so they're gonna have incredible chasing power, and Hag now with the Grimoire does ridiculous amounts of damage, plus he's got that survivability. Still no vestment, but he doesn't need it that badly since he'll probably die to physical, but I'm just really quite disappointed in Zib's item choice still. Like the Sustainer does absolutely nothing for him at this point. Really would have liked to see him have a Firebrand with maybe 400 gold to go before Geometers, and like he's just gonna Shrunken and then he's gonna get rooted.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get rooted again and he's gonna die.
It's going to cause issues. That's going to be difficult to deal with, as it usually is. So you look at Wretched Hack there, you talk about no missing vestments. It looks like she is going to be going for, I would think, his Shrunken Head at this point anyway, so kind of taking care of that there to an extent. You got Corrupt Disciple. In fact, there you go. Geometer's Bane just finished on him. Another 2,700 gold in Devour, and actually the jungle right here. Wretched Hack going to find a couple of friends. Torrent's going to come out. Wretched Hack blinks in, though. Haunt is applied. No Bat Blast going to be. You see the Blazing Strike coming out from Sender. Is like kind of a last stand type deal, but not really doing too much in the end.
Yeah, they're just trying to counter ward, but they're just outmatched at this point. Kongor is going to spawn. They're going to take Kongor. That's probably going to go to Hag. He'll have a token and a Shrunken, so they'll be in a really good place to fight. And I kind of feel for IG here. Like they're trying to farm these items, which honestly won't have that much relevance, and they're just getting picked off over and over. And it just comes down to Lions just saying, "We're gonna go look for you and take map control," and IG just kind of letting them do it. Mid lane though, Diva's going to push book away. Might be in trouble. They know they're Konging, but they're not going to go for it. And Zibe is going to go for the Nullstone. Thoroughly useless, and I will very much enjoy watching him be double-rooted while Shrunken.
Well, we'll see when and if that comes into play here. But the Conger kill, the token alive, it does go to Wretched Hack. She is actually sitting on 4,700 gold now. Holy crap. So.
He might choose to just go for a Sheep Stick versus the Shrunken with the token up. And it's just like a point of pride with me. I just hate Nullstone. And people constantly are trying to tell me that it's a good item, and I'm just constantly telling them, look, it loses games. And I feel for IG. Like, I'm rooting for him, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out with this. Madman's not doing enough damage. They're going to need a ridiculous Kraken ultimate, which is still kind of the X factor. If they can catch 2 or 3 heroes in that, they'll probably die. Rally Invis on the CD. This could be a big kill. He's got the Geos and a lot of move speed.
I don't know if they're going to catch. Oh, he stutter step. That could be the difference. No, he's going to farm. Oh, God. Energizer all of a sudden. Holy crap. Well, something just gave him information to be like, I need to get the hell on out of here all of a sudden. So
it is just his teammates yelling for him. There's no one on the map. Bottom lane pushing in pretty far, and they have vision both in the middle area and their the Legion jungle, so they can't be anywhere else. So they're probably just screaming for him to get back, and that was definitely the team calling him to do that because Fuzi wanted to farm that medium camp.
Yeah, but he chose not to, and for good reason. There's an Nullstone finish. We do see a Frostfield plate, by the way, on Wretched Hag. And actually, you think of a decent item. Honestly, if you're going to see it, maybe against a Madman, it makes sense. But
no, it's good here. It really decreases the amount of damage, both, or rather, all Rally, Kraken, and Madman. So it's pretty good. And Madman, he's going to be okay. Man, the Nullstone's just so useless. It makes me so sad. I like the Frostfield, though. The Sheep would have been good, too. But, I mean, again, he went for the Icon, so he's just, like, he's got a lot of HP now. And he's just really, really tanky. So, and this is something I like to see people do. The Icon works when you build it like this because he's really tanky, but he also does lots of damage. So you kind of need to target him, but at the same time, it's very tough to bring him down. And he has a token.
Yeah.
So,
and you also see, I mean, he's sitting on 2,200 mana, too. Like, that's a crap ton of mana that he can use. He won't even be able to use it all by any means. I got a little bit of a lag spike there. My bad. It happens every now and then. Anyway, should be back now. What did we just see? A portal key actually picked up by Keeper of the Forest. That's getting some extra initiation on top of that. So I am guessing the window here. They got the token of life for another 4.5 minutes. I don't know any more items really. Bottom lane, Madman's gonna stalk around. He will be fine, and he should be able to TP out. He's not gonna go for the TP right away though.
Yeah, he learned from the last time he tried to do that.
Yeah. Oh.
Really lucky.
Yeah, that was close. Actually, middle lane in the meantime, there is a fight going on. Wretched Hag gets caught, actually. This is big. Token of life going to be used right here. She actually blinked right as she died. Oh, she wasn't able to blink as a result. Now she tried to, but no, the Tempest Ultimate pulls her in. Oh, Wretched Hag. The blink before the death, I think, screwed her.
No, he just didn't realize that the Tempest still had the portal key up, and that was well done by Insania. He tried to get to the high ground so that he could blink away after the respawn, didn't pull it off. Lion's now circling on mid, but this would be a good fight 4v5 with no Hag for IG, so they're probably not going to engage here.
Yeah.
Big kill. They're still 10,000 gold behind, but, I mean, 37 minutes into the game, it's not that big a deal. It's 63 to 73, so it is a big difference, but it's only 2 items compared to the, 30 or so for each team, so not that huge of a deal. More like 20-25.
Yeah.
Mid, CD running around doing stuff. He's got 3,000. Devourer's got 25. I like the KG. He's going to go for the Demonic here. It kind of decreases the amount of items Fuzi could go for, but he'll probably just go for straight damage here.
Yeah. You see he's sitting on another 3,100 gold, so
I would go for a wing bow if I was Fuzi.
Yeah.
You can pretty much, a nice job there by Zibe killing the courier. You can pretty much guarantee that there won't be a Savage picked up by either Kraken or Madman for quite a while, and wing bow gives him just ridiculous survivability.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what he eventually goes for, but yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense here for him. 2,600 gold saved up, by the way, on Kraken. Speaking of him, he's got the Helm, the Demonic, the Shrunken. Oh, he's actually going to go Slayer here, so we are going to see a Savage Mace coming out instead for Corrupt the Disciple. So it is just more of that raw damage route. 2,800 gold on Devourer, by the way. I was wondering if he's just going to upgrade to a Barrier Idol, but choosing not to do that. I mean, I guess the magic presence isn't the craziest over here on the Legion side. It is a lot more about physical, especially at this point in the game, but we'll see what he eventually goes for. You see Keeper of the Forest constantly throwing out the invis that we're talking about. Keeper, he has the double root. I don't think he's even used one root since he's got the Resto Stone yet. So, but this is definitely a time. Obviously, they don't have the token anymore on Wretched Hag, but they still feel pretty confident. Is the hole still down? Yeah, that's why. Tempest Ultimate's still down for 50 seconds. So this is a timing right here from Lions. They also have a double damage on Wretched Hag. Devour going to blink in. Not going to hit the hook, though. Nice little sidestep there. So
there is no Shrunken on Hag, and he has no token. And that's, again, he's tanky, but they still kind of have to gun for him. CD choosing to go for the Slayer instead of the Wingbow. Not a huge fan, but it's not a bad item choice. Definitely not a Thunderclaw, so
yeah.
I'm cool with it. The Tempest ult's not up for 25, but again, there's a refresher on Keeper. So this is probably going to be the fight that decides the game. I like IG's chances as they are in the base. They're going to kill this ward, which is really big. That was giving way too much vision. There's the hook.
Yep. You see the portal key. You expect the hook to hit, but nope. Super KG 0 for 2 here at this stand at least. And in the end, they're just going to fall back. So they were knocking on the door, seeing what they can have. And actually, Kraken wants to get something out of this. Rally compels forward. Kraken puts in the auto attack. Torture dropping. The release to Kraken to pull him in. He's going to hook his teammate, though. Great assistance. And now Madman running away. Are we going to see a root? Madman being locked down. In comes the electric tide. Madman's barely alive. The Tempest ultimate going to be stopped, though, by the root. The second root going to be used on top of that. And here comes the Outboard team. The Rally compel not going to matter. Kraken's TPing out of there. He says, see ya. Not much I'm going to be able to do. Rally will fall. And Kraken's just back at base. Tempest did buy back, I'm guessing. Yeah, but Kraken TPing right in the middle of that with full life and full mana. That was interesting.
His team was going down around him. He knew he had to get out of there. The Kraken ulti just not where it needed to be. And that's IG kind of just making I don't want to say an inexperienced team sort of mistake, but you really don't want to chase there. Like, you're chasing into a double route. And your Madman's item choice is disgusting, so you really don't have a chance to win a fight there without a beautiful Kraken ult. And you don't have counter vision either. They have no gem, and they only had one dust. So, I mean, what do you really expect to happen when you chase not only out of your base, but into an uphill choke point?
Yeah.
And you saw Madman, like, he did damage, but then he got rooted, and he did no more damage.
Not much more you could do after that, so... Yeah, that was the chase in the first place. It was a very ballsy chase, and yeah, it's just the great team support. Also, the big hook on to Torture initially to help keep him alive, and then turn that around to some big plays being made in Lion Esports Club. Definitely coming out on top, and now all the momentum is in their favor, and this is their game to lose at this point. Demonic Breastplate finished on Devour. You have that Savage Mace. It's not finished just yet, but it's coming here for Corrupted Disciple very, very shortly. A third Kongor attempt wouldn't be surprising here at this point. Wait for that, and look to go cutthroat here. I'm sure is what Lion Esports Club has in mind, so we'll have to wait and see. Again, it is a best out of one, guys, so here in the group stage is the first game for both of these teams. Lions trying to start that 1-0, but IG, see if they can have anything to say about it, but this point, not looking too good. Not looking too good for a start for them, so... Madman, by the way, I thought he bought a Quick Blade, but he actually doesn't have that on him anymore. He's currently carrying the TP, so maybe he still has a Quick Blade in the stash, but...
Yeah, it's the least useful item, although the bottle's kind of irrelevant at this stage, since he's got a Nullstone, doesn't really need the regen, but... Lions is just going to play it safe, wait for Kongor here. They're really not in a rush. They've got a Savage on Fuzi, they'll have a Shrunken on Jonas pretty soon, and then they just wait for Token and Bananas and they win the game.
Yeah.
They're going to need a miraculous Tempest ulti. You see, because... man, because like Zergo even went for this Abyssal Skull to like help the team, and he got that a while ago. But like his team, I don't know. Zergo's played a great game, even though his score doesn't really reflect that. But I don't want to keep harping on this, but like I really feel like Zibe, both with getting picked a couple of times and his item choice is really hurting his team. He's going to go for the Brutalizer now, but. That's what I mean. Like a Geo's Brutalizer I like a lot. Gives you the attack speed. You have enough damage. But now he's got 3 defensive items. And he's just not outputting enough damage to take out a team with not only Keeper armor, but a significant advantage on his own team.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works out for him, of course, with that Frenzy, or Berserk, excuse me, that he has. I mean, it definitely can be some awesome procs coming out of that, sitting on that target. But it's a matter if he's able to sit on that target at this point. Again, with the double root especially. So, 4,000 more gold saved up on Wretched Hag. She has enough for the Shrunken Head. It's just a matter of actually buying it as well as having the buyback. So just being a little bit safe than sorry. Savage Mace has been finished on Fuzi now for a little bit. 3,700 gold on Keeper. So another big item, very possibly coming up for him. Now there's 4,800 gold on Kraken. So he clearly is saving up for that big item himself. Raw damage? I mean, Behemoth Sword? Or do you want to see something like a Sheepstick even on him?
Not really sure, to be honest. We're talking about Keeper, right?
No, Kraken.
Oh, sorry, misheard. Both Ks. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Like, he doesn't really have much he could go. Like, he could go for a heart, I suppose, but like I don't think he's going to be targeted. So if he does go for that, he's just going to have to change the way he's positioning himself. Like, he's already been in the front, but he's going to have to be like in the front, you know, run the limp bait And I guess Heart's really the way to go here. He could go for a Frostfield, but that's going to be ineffective, and he's going to go for Heart, yeah. I'd almost say he could go Geos too, to be honest. Like, it's such an incredible item. Like, you think about how good Keeper is, but if you look at his items, he's got all of it, in essence, the whole thing he's building his hero around is the ability to double root. And if you can take away the double root, even like if 2 heroes can get out of double root, it really limits its effectiveness, especially when they're your 2 carries. They're the ones doing the damage. The rest of your team can just wait in the background. But that's going to be the token and the bananas. Bananas to Hag. He's actually going to go for Frostfield, or rather Frostwolf, and CD going to grab the token. And this, I like this choice because now Hag with bananas, he's going to have the Frostfield finished. There it is. He has a retarded amount of health. You're not going to be able to kill him before he can bananas. And now the CD, who went that really squishy, damage-dealing build, is going to have the token. So it's just going to be a really tough fight for IG to win. It's not unreachable, but they're definitely very far behind.
Oh, you see Devo right here. Whew, he tried to make some big plays. He actually tableted to take away the Null Stone. He hit the hook, but the stock came out from Madman as well as the Compel away to help keep him alive. He is still on the run. Devour going to try to go for another lucky hook. Oh, well, he landed. Oh, just out of range. Oh, I thought he had it for a second. That would have been huge. Just out of range, though, so not able to get the pick. And you do see that Behemoth Heart finish now on Kraken. What a Keeper just spot. Keeper just spot a full sheep stick, yeah. So they got one of those now to work with. You talked about Wretched Hag. Wretched Hag, 3,200 life with that Frost of Skull finish. The Icon of the Goddess has 12 charges on it, so a lot of regen on top of when a hero's killed in the fight, that extra buff. And, I mean, Madman, he has another 1,700 gold. Definitely could use maybe some more damage on him as far as his next item, but will he get to that point? Obviously the big question mark. So Kongor being dead, they got that third token. How much time does it have? 5.5 minutes. So still a little bit of time. But Lion, I mean, should they even wait longer? I mean, I think they got pretty much everything they're going for. So might as well look down the game, you would think. And it looks like that's where they're going to be at here. So they're going to head towards the middle lane. We'll see if IG can do much. They're going to cut towards top, actually. They want to try to, the flank on to rally. Portal key in, but the quick portal key from Zergo to be able to respond. But back to the middle lane we go.
IG's playing this right. They have Kraken in base. They're baiting them to go for him, and they're trying to split push, but like Lions just going to go for the base, and this is what they have to do. The Glyph is still off cooldown, but like this is just so difficult to defend now. They got 2 catapults up as well.
There's the Glyph coming out right there. Corrupted Disciple standing in the front grounds, though. He has a Savage Mace. He's just taking out that Rax. Big Compel hitting 2. Torrent's going to be used, but again, Hag is so tanky. It's just so difficult here for IG as far as what they can actually do. The Rax is pretty much going to fall for free at this point. Yeah, there goes the melee Rax. Kraken taking a lot of damage. Conduit's applied. He is going to Tsunami charge away before too much else happens. Locked in on the Tevez. Tevez is going to fall right here. Doesn't even fight. No, he gets the trigger off. He's going to ultimate, but it's stopped immediately by the second root. Coming up for Keeper the Forest. In comes a Path Blast as well. Corrupted and Wretched Hag are just fine. Kraken trying to hold his ground. There's the hook on Apartments in the background. Down goes Pyro, and Kraken's just running back to base, and I believe the end is near here.
I changed my mind. What Fabelli really needed to go there, and he had to go for a blink, because the only way they were going to win that fight was if he landed a miraculous charge, like into the second tier towers, the Kraken ult on top, killed the seed twice, something like that.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to win a fight there. Oh wow, big stun, but it's not going to matter.
That's going to be, yeah. I mean, they're getting a little bit of hope here, but obviously the end result. I mean, 3,700 life Kraken isn't even enough to hold them off.
You can just see how ineffectual Madman is. He's just not doing enough damage. He's if a Kraken is out damaging you, you know that there's something wrong. And it was really well played by Lions, in all honesty. I feel like IG could have played it a bit better, made it a little closer, but I mean, it was tight for a long time there. Lions just kind of outplaying them, as they've seemed to do to almost every team recently, where they just kind of, they get their core items, they take map control, and then you just can't team fight them anymore. And IG's window closed rapidly, and they're going to lose this one to Lions, but shouldn't be ashamed of it. They played a good game. 50 minutes is a lot longer than other teams are going to last. And, you know, it's group stage, so they'll get another chance.
Well, yeah, well, on top of that, I mean, yeah, you only get the one chance in the group stage against each team, but it is just the first game. And it's arguably your toughest opponent in the group. So, yeah, I don't think they have too much to be concerned about, but yeah, at the same time, it would have been a nice win if they could pull through. But Lions, you see Mega Creeps, IG's like, well, we want to stand in here as long as possible. It's a best out of one, so why the hell not? But I think it's pretty evident this is going to be a victory for Lions. In fact, Sword of the High I wonder if that was a full Doombringer purchased. Yes, it was. Full Doombringer going to be purchased here by, well, Krupp is actually running back to page 65. He actually buys a Behemoth Star. There is the makings of a Doombringer on the Courier. That was kind of interesting, but, oh no, he just picks up a Behemoth Star.
That's a... I know everyone wants to see the Doombringer, but like that's a good choice. The game, believe it or not, even at this stage against Mega Creeps, is still throwable because the Madman with the Doombringer kills everything.
Yeah, that's true. That would give him the damage that he's looking for. We do see Keeping the Force was Big Top. He buys back though. He's jumping back in right here. Rowley's going to easily fall. IG, they're just one by one. They tried, but yeah, there you go. There's a vote to concede, and it is going to be official. Game number one. Well, the game here will go to Lion Esports Club over Internet Gangsters. Again, the first game of the group stages here for both these teams. So that means Lions is going to be 1-0, and IG will start 0-1 here in the SoundBlaster Heroes League Season 2 group stages. So congratulations to Lions. Strong start for them. Definitely a tough opponent for them, and they get the job done. IG 0-1, but like we're talking about, it is just the first game of what's 5 games in total, and arguably their toughest opponent getting done with